Also, the allegation about journalists. Are journalists free to travel within Sri Lanka? Are they safe? Are they able to report what's going on?
Journalists are free to travel anywhere, but not into the war zone. Not into the war zone right now.
Last in Sri Lanka?
I was there only 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And
so was I.
So we've all been in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And the problem is that I don't think the BBC got a monopoly to report on Sri Lanka. They have been distorting the
This is
story
Press
from Sri
TV,
Lanka.
this isn't the BBC.
Sorry?
This is Press TV.
Yeah, I'm glad it's a Press TV, because I'm sure they will not give biased reports like what has been happening by the BBC. You know, in Sri Lanka, in the north, they have ethnically cleansed all the Sinhalese and the Muslims. Do you know that 100,000 Muslims were chased out of the north by the LTT? They were only given, they were given only 24 hours notice to get out.
All right, I want to bring in another audience question. The lady at the back in the orange sweater there. Yes.
Just about the human shield aspect. Yes. Tamils in the Vanni area, if they do come out of that area, they are not then sent back home. They are sent to refugee camps, apparently, where they have to stay there against their own will, where we have allegations that from local people there, where they are actually murdering the people in there. They're torturing them in there.
Okay.
No, they're torturing there. They are torturing them in there. Now, all of these allegations, they cannot be proved or disproved.
Yes,
why? Because the media are not allowed to move freely in there. Because you cannot.
Lord Naseby.
You're quite right that somebody who escapes from the Tigers, and there's about 40,000 have escaped, are in the farm at Manik, which is a large camp. It is serviced by the government agent, not a member of the government. The government agent is a civil servant. The UNHCR are there. The Red Cross are there. And they report that this is a good camp. Well, no, I mean, the Red Cross are not... you can't pull the wool over the eyes of the International Red Cross.
John Holmes...
I'm sorry, you cannot pull the wool over the International... if there was something wrong there, they would have reported it.
Well, think about John Holmes, who is the United Nations humanitarian representative. He says there is no access to NGOs and media.
Well, he's wrong, because
I checked
this morning. Let's hear him finish his point.
Thank you so much. John Holmes, who is the United Nations top official, says there is no freedom of movement. The military are controlling that area, and he has urged the government of Sri Lanka to let NGOs and the media to have free access.
Today,
in Sri Lanka, just hold on just 1 minute, constitutionally it allows for humanitarian organizations sponsored by the Sri Lankan government to have access without permission. Now, the government of Sri Lanka, since the 28th of November, has refused their own human rights organizations to go into these camps. You have an answer for that?
Okay. Yes. Can I ask Robert? Wait a minute. Can I ask Robert to come in at this point? Robert is a European Union representative in the area. Obviously, the European Union are following what's going on. What reports have you had?
Well, I mean, we've had the same sort of reports. And let's be perfectly honest, I suggest that there's nobody in this room, whether it's the panel or not, who knows for sure we were relying on information. And you, Douglas and Lord Naseby say that's not true, disregard things. I don't believe that all these organisations, these aid organisations that we're talking about, or all the stories from the camps that we've heard, can all be discredited. You know, you wanted to try... This is John Holmes' statement here that I'm looking at.
Yeah, well, where was John Holmes over there? He's not there last week, is he?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
In the camp.
Yes,
in the camp.
Yes.
In the camp.
Yes, that's right.
We understand John Holmes was there last week. All right, let's hear the word from John Holmes.
This is his statement.
Robert will read it.
The 3rd of March. Which was sent to me by the Sri Lankan embassy in Brussels. So there must be an element of truth if they wanted to send it. And he says that, which the young lady at the back says about the camps, and this is the only one that he was able to go to, which suggests it's one of the better ones. Movement in and out of them is highly and unacceptably restricted. So the suggestion that people can move out.
I didn't say they could move out. I didn't say that.
But there's also stories that they're going to be...
I said the Red Cross could go in, and the UNHCR.
Okay.
Both are in there, and both were satisfied.
But, and also,
can we just bring in Douglas? Finish that, then I'm going to bring in Douglas.
And the previous point, you said that there'd been no bombing. In his statement, he says, the government assured me at every level that they have virtually stopped using heavy weapons because of the recognition of needs to spare more the civilian population.
Can I just say this?
They obviously were, the government admitted they were using. They even told him
only yesterday.
We're talking about the part of
Okay, Douglas, the specific point was put by the lady at the back, absolutely specific and categorically, that Tamil people leaving the Tamil areas when the army goes in were forced into refugee camps and could not leave them afterwards. Michael has explained that the Red Cross has given access. John Holmes apparently was given access. What's the truth on this?
The truth is, only yesterday, the ambassadors of France, Russia, South Korea, all these countries were invited to the camps, and if you read their reports, they're saying that glowing reports about how Sri Lanka is treating these people.
Remember, the question is about access
I will come to
egress by the Tamil people.
They are escaping the Tamil Tigers. And, of course, Tamil Tigers would also try to creep into this place. Don't forget that Colombo and Sri Lanka had been terrorized by suicide bombing. I mean, if that was happening in this country, do you think they would allow people just to walk in? And here, you have to screen them. Once those people come into the camps, and the camps are perfectly, according to these ambassadors, are a glowing tribute to Sri Lanka, the way they're running this camp. And surely they have to be screened to find out who these people are. And if they are genuine, of course they can't go back immediately to that area because it's still mined by the Tigers. There's a LTT controlled area. They have to be thrown out before these people can be sent back.
So there is a degree of control. There is a degree of control.
Of course. They can't go back to one.
Audience question at the back there. Gentleman there with the glasses.
Yes, Mr. Surendran mentioned on the question of discrimination that Sinhalese is the only official language, which is factually wrong and which is propaganda.
Yeah. Can I correct you?
Is that your question?
No, sir.
Let him finish his question. Carry on.
I want to ask him whether he does know that Tamil, Sinhalese are two official languages with English in Sri Lanka today.
I said in 1956, Mr. Bandaranaike introduced the official language as only Sinhala only. I didn't say it is only. Well, long time ago, why was it introduced? If there was no discrimination, if you had a free society, why would you want to go?
Well, Michael, the point surely gone. One of the points is that the language dispute of 1958 did kick off into what became very, very serious disturbances later on. Do you have anything particular on the point about language? Because that has been one of the big causes. Please, go ahead.
I worked there in 1963 for the Reckitt Coleman Group. I wasn't in politics. And language was the issue. You're quite right. Absolutely right. Gross discrimination at that time. But today, that has been put right. The official languages now are Tamil and Sinhalese, with some English. You go round and see the road signs, the new road signs, they're all in Tamil and Sinhala. If you're going to enter the civil service, you are required now, at a certain level and above, you are required, if you're a Sinhalese speaker, you have to learn Tamil, and if you're a Tamil, you have to learn Sinhalese.
Okay, can I bring in Robert?
That's gone now as an issue.
Bring in Robert on this point. The EU is very keen on human rights, non-discrimination and multilingual societies. In your visits and observation, is there discrimination on the basis of language, and does that lead on to other discrimination?
Well, I would say that it's a Sinhala-dominated society. That's absolutely the case. And
well, of course, there's 75% of the people.
80% of the people.